Hi, Mr. Olson here. Just kind of ready to go over your homework for this week, the week of Monday, December 7th. So this assignment is going out Monday, December 7th at 8 a.m. It will be due next Monday, December 14th at 8 a.m. like normal. Again, the best time to do it would be on Wednesday, but you do have the whole week. Now, after talking about Reconstruction last week, as we move closer to the end of our unit, our focus is going to shift a little bit toward this idea of legalized segregation. We talked a little bit about housing segregation in Minnesota Studies class last year. In class on Tuesday, we're going to talk specifically about Jim Crow segregation in the South. And your homework for this week is going to focus primarily on one legal case and a little bit on a second legal case, the main one being Plessy v. Ferguson. Plessy v. Ferguson was the 1896 legal case that essentially legalized segregation in the South. And we're also going to kind of compare it to the 1954 case, Brown v. Board of Education, which outlawed segregation in schools and kind of was very important in pushing us toward the end of the Jim Crow era in the South. Although it didn't officially outlaw everything, it was important in kind of that final push toward ending full legal segregation in the South in the 1950s and 1960s. So for this assignment, you're going to be doing a couple different things with a Jamboard. You're going to start with a PDF of a short reading. It's only a single page. And so attached to this assignment, you'll have this reading and you can read through this. There will also be an audio clip that you can listen to of me reading this to you. The audio clip's only about 2.5 minutes long. And you're going to use this reading in that audio clip to answer these three questions. One, what did Homer Plessy, a man who was only 1/8 black, do that was illegal? Two, which amendment did Plessy say this violated? And three, Plessy v. Ferguson established what three-word doctrine in U.S. law that allowed separation of races. So what you're going to do for this is you can do it a couple different ways. You can either create a new post-it or, and put it on the next to it, or just create a text box and put it below it. But whatever you do, just find a way to briefly answer these three questions. Then once you've done that, you're going to have to really think a little bit because you're going to go ahead to the second page of the Jamboard. And on here, what you're going to find is 14 yellow Post-it notes that are on top of each other, okay, 1 through 14. And you're going to use kind of your brain and what you thought of, what you learned about each of these decisions. Plessy, something that allowed legal segregation, and Brown that disallowed legal segregation. And you're going to take these statements that were made kind of about these two cases and categorize them where you think they would logically fit. So for example, number one, it says the 14th Amendment could not have been intended to abolish differences based on color. So Plessy allowed for legalized segregation. So hopefully you're watching this video. So if it says the 14th Amendment did not intend to abolish differences, that would very much go under kind of the Plessy category. The next one, two, the impact of separating people just because of race is even bigger when the law says it's okay. Do the same thing with that. Where do you think it goes? So when you're all said and done, you'll have all 14 of these spread out either under the Plessy side or the Brown side. And what I'll be looking for when I grade these is how close to 100% correct are you. Now, this is going to be a little tricky. I'll be honest with you, it's going to be a little tricky with some of them. Some of them will be straightforward, some will be hard. And so I fully expect that most of you are not going to get all 14 correct on this. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't panic. You're not going to get a D- because of that. But I do think if you really use your brains and think hard about this and use what you've learned from the reading, you should be able to get a pretty good percentage correct. Now, as usual with this, I will be available if you have specific questions, especially if there's one that's really tripping you up. Feel free to come in during the office hours Wednesday morning. Shoot me an email. I'm happy to help. As I said before, this is due next Monday, December 14th at 8 a.m. Wednesday is the best time to do it. If you need me, shoot me an email or come see me Wednesday morning. Thank you.